In Greek mythology, the Dactyls or Dactyloi/Dactyls from ancient Greek, delta alpha kappa tau upsilon lambda omicron iota dactyloi fingers, were the archaic mythical race of male beings associated with the Great Mother, whether as Cybele or Rhea. Their numbers vary, but often they were 10 spirit men, so like the 3 Corybants one or the Kabori, that they were often interchangeable. The Dactyls were both ancient smiths and healing magicians. In some myths, they are in Hephaestus' employ and they taught metalworking, mathematics, and the alphabet to humans. When Anchiole knew her time of delivery was come, she went to Psychro cave on Crete and Mount Ida. As she squatted in labor, she dug her fingers into the earth Gaia, which brought forth these dactyloidane delta alpha kappa tau upsilon lambda omicron iota delta alpha iota omicron iota idone fingers 3, thus often 10 in number or sometimes multiplied into a race of 10 tens. 3 is just as often given as their number. They are sometimes instead numbered as 33. When Greeks offered a most solemn oath, often they would press their hands against the earth as they uttered it. The Dactyls of Mount Ida in Crete invented the art of working metals into usable shapes with fire. Walter Burkett surmises that as the societies of lesser gods mirrored actual cult associations, guilds of smiths corresponded to the dactyloi in real life. 5 According to Hesiod, they also discovered iron in Crete. 6 3 Phrygian dactyls in the service of the Great Mother as addressed alpha delta, Rho alpha sigma tau eta are usually named upon the anvil, Damnamnus the hammer, and Selmus casting. Of Selmus, Ovid in Metamorphoses. I've made a story that when Rhea was offended at this childhood companion of Zeus, she asked Zeus to turn him to diamond-hard adamant, like a tempered blade. Zeus obliged. Xenobius wrote that Selmus was turned into iron when he offended Rhea. 7. Later Greek attempts to justify and rationalize the relationships of dactyls, curettes and corybants were never fully successful. Strabo says of the mythographers, and they suspect that both the courts and the corybants were offspring of the dactyloidae. At any rate, the first 100 men born in Crete were called Idaean dactyloi, they say, and these were born of 9 courts, for each of these begot 10 children, who were called Idaean dactyloi. 8. The Kabori, ancient Greek kappa alpha beta epsilon iota rho omicron iota, whose sacred place was on the island of Samothrace, were understood by Diodorus Siculus IX to have been Idaean dactyls who had come west from Phrygia and whose magical practices had made local converts to their secret cult. An Idaean dactyl named Heracles, perhaps the earliest embodiment of the later hero, originated the Olympic Games by instigating a race among his 4-finger brothers. This Heracles was the thumb, his brothers were Eunaeus forefinger, Epimedes middle finger, Iasus ring finger / healing finger, and Idas or Idas little finger. On Rhodes, Celtians were the name given to similar chthonic men, 9 in number, remembered by Greeks as dangerous underworld smiths and magicians, and multiplied into an entire autochthonous race that had reared Poseidon, but had been supplanted by Apollo in his Helios role. In Crete, 3 dactyls bore names suggestive of healing. Paeonios later associated with Asclepius, Epimedes, and Laios. It was said that they had introduced the smithing of copper and iron of Lasian. It was told Hesiod, Theogony 970, that he lay with Demeter, a stand-in for Rhea, in a thrice-ploughed field, and the goddess brought forth Plautos, wealth in the form of a bountiful harvest. Zeus struck down this impious archaic figure with a thunderbolt. This is all of the public version of this myth that survives. Doubtless, initiates must have known more.